I'm here to talk about relationship matters.
Right.
And I'm here with my very good friend, sister. She's very dear to me. Her name is Dalakwa Ali. Oh, look, she made me up. You're going to meet her today. And we're going to talk about lots of stuff that which you out there can learn from. Most people have gone through similar situations, so it's just for us to learn from each other. We're here to talk about relationship challenges and relationships, what Dalakwa faced, and how she managed to overcome it. And I would really love to learn more about that. Can you tell me about the situation in your life, and about your family?
I mean, you're not asking much here, are you?
Well, I want to know. I've been able to overcome mine, but I mean, for people who want to try and overcome theirs, can you talk more about that, please?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if we want to talk about challenges with relationships, I guess we could look at the aspect of living in an African household. Starting a new relationship, and it's and I guess the challenges with living in an African household is they try to look at things from the way that they've done things back in their days.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and they just don't seem to understand that the world has moved on, and it's not always going to be how they've done things. It's going to be
typical, right?
It's just so challenging. They don't understand that we now live in a modern age. Things are not done the way they used to do things. Dating is different now.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the days, they used to call courting, right?
Yeah.
And now we call it dating. And they just don't understand that. They think that every guy you bring home, you're ready to marry them. Like, what? No.
That didn't happen to me, because I'm like part of that old school, so I don't really know what you're talking about. So that's affecting me. Going forward, I've got a daughter. That would really help me to see my daughter from the modern perspective when she's going to her husband's. So tell me, how did it start? How did you start noticing that there's going to be a big challenge, saying you want to go out with a man in an African, with the African parents and with their mentality?
Okay, so first of all, in an African household, every man, whether it be your boyfriend or whether it be just a friend, as long as he's the opposite sex, all of a sudden they want to be all in your business. They want to know everything. They want to know where you went with him. They want to know what time you're coming back home. They want to know his name. They just want to know his life. They want to know everything. And you're thinking, but no, he's just my friend. No, we're not. They try to make it sound more serious than it is.
Yeah,
because you're just like, no, we're just friends. We're just trying to get to know each other. Don't make it sound any more serious than it is.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you this instance, because when I was younger, with my parents, I think it's much better. Maybe your parents are a bit more lenient now. My dad gave us like the free hand, but my mom, no, she'll say 7 is 7.
Oh boy.
No, you're not going out with a man. What are you going to do with a man? Where are you going to? You are not going anywhere with that man, because they believe that when you're going out with a man, he cannot just be your friend. So
exactly.
What's the situation like? Maybe if you want to go to a party with a man, or you have a date or something. Will they give you a time scale? Will they tell you to, not to make up too much, or your dresses can't be skimpy or mini? What you have to say about that?
I mean, they expect you not to. They see getting to know the opposite sex.
Yeah.
And they don't understand that you need to get to know different people. They think the minute you start to get to know different people and you start to go on different dates, you're what they call a promiscuous person. They seem to think the worst, that once you're dating this guy, you need to be committed to this guy. It's almost like they just expect you. They don't want you to be with anyone apart from. Once you introduce someone to them, they expect that person to be either your boyfriend or your husband.
Yeah.
Like, they just don't understand.
Yeah,
like they just don't understand that you do need to go out on dates and meet different people.
friends.
You know,
That could be
exactly.
actual friends.
There could be friends.
Yeah.
It's not just friends. Like we live in this age. We live in this day and age where you just don't. It's not just the first person that you meet that you get to settle with. You need to build friendship. You need to know whether or not you guys are compatible, and that would require going on several dates, not with just that one person, with like different people as well.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, we live in a modern world where people meet online.
Yeah.
Like and it's not even that. Like, it's just very busy. We live in a very busy world as well, where you're working 9 to 5. After 9 to 5, you're doing extracurriculums, or you're churchgoer. Like, what if your husband is not in church? What if whoever you are compatible with is not in church? But then Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, you're at work. When do you? And then you come back home and you're tired.
Yeah.
And if you're not the type that goes out clubbing, when do you actually get to meet the time to meet someone apart from online dating? Which is why I really believe that online dating is very good, because it has its cons and it has its pros. So definitely, I mean, yeah.
Well, I don't know about that, because my mom and dad would tell you. my mom and dad, they're also Nigerian, so my mom and dad would tell you, no, it's not good. It's not of God.
Oh my God.
You have to meet your husband in a church.
What if your husband's not in church?
Well, you have to bring that person home, and they have to ask questions.
Where do you meet that person? That's the question. Like, how do you meet that person?
No, you go to school. They don't want to know how. Oh, in those days.
Yeah.
In those days, it used to be like the family of I'm just gonna say for example the Smiths, because my maiden name was Lewis, so they could say, oh, the family of the Smiths want to come around, also just wear your best outfits and get dressed and cook the very delicious meal. And then they have a son who's coming from abroad.
Oh my God.
So you have to meet them, and this is something that they would do to matchmake the people they want
people
in those days.
See, back in the days, they matchmake
But
people.
right now, so if you could tell me, I assume you'll be in a relationship now. I don't know, but if you're in a relationship, tell me, how then did you go past I'm going out to meet this person, or the person is coming to me? How did they take it?
I mean, at first, it took a lot of convincing to let them understand that this is just a friend that's just coming to visit, and I'm just going to see a friend. Because again, it's initial stages. You are trying to get to know someone.
Yeah.
There's nothing concrete yet, and they don't seem to get that. Sometimes building a friendship is very important in having a successful relationship. So it was very challenging, because they expect that if you are going to see anyone, it has to be your boyfriend. It has to be someone that you're committed to, and it can't just be a friend. They seem to think the worst. That just seem to think the worst, that if you're having like multiple guy friends, then you're just being promiscuous, which is not the case. But I'm not saying that's what my parents think of me. I'm just saying that in an African household, it can be seen as a girl having too many guy friends. She's been promiscuous, and she's not ready to settle, and she's just been what they call an ashewo, which is not really the case. So
how did you overcome it then?
Yeah, it took a lot of convincing. I think I had to sit them down, talk to them, try to understand their point of view, and try to get them to understand my point of view as well, and to understand that the world doesn't work the way that it used to work, like when they were courting back in the days. It's very different now, and yeah, just it took a lot of convincing, a lot of re-educating them, and it took from with me as well, also seeing their point of view. So we just had to understand each other's point of view, and then come to like a meeting agreement. Because you do have to understand that they grew up in a different era, and not even a different era. They grew up in a different country as well.
Yeah.
Like we're now in the UK, and most of our parents probably grew up in and courted in Nigeria.
So there are a few things that Dolapo said that I'm gonna take home with me tonight. I'm sure that you you all have listened and you're going to take home. She talked about understanding. She talked about being patient, trying to convince them. So to be able to overcome such challenges, you just have to keep going. Have to keep trying to convince your parents, trying to and be patient with it, and make sure that they have the understanding of where you're coming from, because where they're coming from is totally different from where you're coming from. And also, Dolakwa said they're from different background, different country. She is in a different country now, but I'm telling you, even right there, if they're in their country now, like in Nigeria, things have changed. Also in Nigeria, things have moved on. So it's the kind of language that you speak, as the kind of things that you would tell them that they would use in trusting you, and it's you know, that could go on and on and on if you don't give them something to trust you on. So understanding, patience, gaining their trust,
Yeah.
all works together. Let me know your story. Please comment, subscribe, and like my page. Thank you.